direct you. So now on to Tiger Tank. Saunders College of Business, which resides at the nexus between business and technology, is the proud sponsor of the Tiger Tank competition, where students have the opportunity to pitch their business idea to judges, AKA Tiger Sharks. Prizes are awarded ranging from $250 to $2,000, plus there is a full tuition scholarship for the winning team towards one of our graduate business programs, which includes our MBA program or any of our MS programs, which include an MS in accounting, computational finance, management, or entrepreneurship and innovative ventures. This year, the selection committee had a rigorous task to select the top 5 teams that you're going to see today from over 70 applications, our largest number ever. So, please join me in welcoming Richard DiMartino, Director of the Simone Center, and our MC for Tiger Tank. Please enjoy. Richard?
Wow, there's a lot of people here today. I'm so glad you could all come. We're really excited about the teams that we have presenting in the Tiger Tank. We're very happy that we have a great panel of judges that have given their time to help give them feedback and look at all these great ideas. Some real quick talking points. 5 teams are here. We had 71 applications. We selected 5. There were probably 25 that we thought were worthy of coming up here, so there were some tough choices. Each team has 5 minutes to present their ideas, and then there are 8 minutes where the judges are going to ask them very specific questions about their ideas, their markets, their use cases, that type of information. The judges determine the winners and the prizes. And it's going to be interesting. We have a great keynote speaker coming up during lunch. I hope you can all attend, of Robert Latore, who's come up with some of the coolest technology you're ever going to see in interactive media and photography. And he is going to announce who won the Tiger Tank and the positions that people are in. So we're very excited about that. And please do come for the keynote, because I think you'll all learn a lot from it. Let me introduce the judges. I'm not going to give lots of background. I'm just going to give names. And then I'm going to introduce the first presenter, and then we'll introduce the presenters as they come in. I'm not going to give you all of them now. Our judges, again, who are kind enough to give us their time, and please just give a nice wave so people know who you are Cindy Cooper. Thank you so much. Marco Di Pasquale, who has the best last name. My last name is DiMartino, the best last name of anyone here at the conference. Neelish Patel and Anthony Moretti. Let's give them all a hand and thank them for their time and contributions. So our first presenting group is called Free Roam, an invisible leash smartphone application that connects a dog collar through Bluetooth to signal the animal with a whistle when it drifts away. So can I see your hands? Where is the first team? Come on up and give your presentation.
Just to let you know how things are going to go is you're going to start, you're going to present, you're going to give a warning when? 1 minute, and then we're going to cut you off because this has to be efficient. So whenever you're ready, just go ahead and start.
Oh, yourself in the wrong one?
Hi, so my name is Jonathan Brandon. I'm an engineering student here at IIT, and
Excuse me, I'm going to let you start over again. What I'm going to ask you to do is go ahead and speak here. People cannot hear you on a
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, so my name is Jonathan Morenga. I'm an engineering student here at RIT, and I came up with their idea. I'm Matthew Pitcher. I'm a software engineering student here at RIT, and I work on the software side of our project.
My name's Ian Bixby. I'm a finance and economics major here at RT. I'll be working on the operations aspect of the business, and our product is Free Roam. Free Roam is a revolutionary way to walk your dog. By using the Bluetooth connectivity in your smartphone and embedding the same technology in the dog collar, we're able to create a product that acts as a quasi-invisible leash. If your dog starts drifting too far outside your preset distance parameter that you set on your smartphone, it'll hear a whistle. If your dog breaches that plane, it'll feel a shock, signaling to come back within inside the radius. With the app, or once you buy the collar, you'll get a free app that allows you to control the settings of the collar. You'll be able to set the distance, you'll be able to set the severity of the shock, and also there'll be manual buttons so you can shock the dog if he breaches the plane. Our market is huge. It's simple, but it's huge. Any dog owner who owns a smartphone is a potential consumer. There are over 70 million domesticated dogs in the United States alone. Over 1/3 of households own a dog, with the average amount of dogs in those households is 1.6. I also want to note that on average, households that own a dog have $3,000 a year higher income than households without a dog. And this kind of gets us into our target consumer. Our target consumer at first is young to middle-aged dog owners who are tech savvy, own a smartphone, and have a higher income level. From a business side of the equation, we want to retail our product for just under $150, which at that price point we feel offers the best long-term solution that our product can offer at the best benefit for the consumer. After researching input cost for the product, including Bluetooth connectivity, the physical collar, and also the shock component, we think that we can get the cost per unit at a point where we can have profit margins on each sale of 40%. We want to sell our product three ways. We want to sell it, have an online presence in which we market and advertise on pet blogs, tech blogs, and really drive traffic to our website in order to sell to any consumer in the entire world. Two, we want to set up relationships with retailers through distribution like PetSmart and Petco to get the product in front of the consumer so they can conceptualize it and really see it on a shelf. And three, common among dog and pet products, we want to have person-to-person recommendation and endorsement through dog breeders and dog trainers so that when you maybe purchase a dog or you're training your dog, the dog trainer can tell you that it's a product that works, it's safe for your pet, and endorse it. Also past this, we're looking to target a society known as American Society Prevention to Animal Cruelty. What they do is they endorse products to show that they're not cruel to animals, and so we'll be looking to target that endorsement also. Our competition is simple. Our competition are just physical dog leashes, your standard leash, which have the advantages of it's cheap and there's little to no training involved. But Free Roam provides convenience, provides ease of use, and it allows you to multitask as you're walking your dog. Imagine a parent walking a baby stroller as their dog walks freely alongside them, or someone who couldn't walk a dog before, maybe a handicapped dog owner in a wheelchair who can now walk their dog without holding onto a physical leash. Now, we're going to open up this market. This product would open up the invisible leash market, and we know that other competitors, such as PetSafe and Invisible Fence, who already do pet collar solutions, would jump into the market. But we think that because we're first to market, and that we'll have brand recognition, we'll have the endorsements in place, Free Roam will still be the premium product in the market. What's next is important. Matt's good at software. I understand some of the business side, but we need to find a team member that can work with hardware and work with the electronic components to work with Matt in developing a prototype in the mobile app so we can have a real-life demonstration and show its functionality. Thirdly, we want to research and pursue potential endorsements in order to kind of start building our product and sifting out how it can be beneficial to the consumers. Questions? I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
This one. Anybody hear me? Yes. Okay. I feel like I'm on a commercial. Have you had anybody use it? I mean, have you had any type of prototype that you've had customers use it?
No, we actually haven't. So when we submitted the idea to Tiger Tank, it was just a business conception that we came up with, and we kind of tried to develop the idea more over the last week and coming up with a presentation. We are looking to build a prototype and kind of get the technology working, and taking some retail products that we can find on the market and really trying to build that into a good prototype.
Quick question around the competitive piece of it,
Yep.
as well as functionality, I guess, or logistically. So they would technically have an invisible fence collar plus your collar. Is that what I'm understanding? Or
No,
would you have
so,
to?
so it'd be one collar.
So that
and-
collar, because it's Bluetooth, would work with the invisible fence technology that's already out there?
No, it could work with Bluetooth connectivity in your phone, which can tell distance between your phone and that whatever Bluetooth signal. it's
Okay.
picking
So
up.
what if my dog already has invisible fence collar on them?
I guess you could.
It'd have two collars. Is my question really?
The invisible fence collar you usually use at your house, and you set the parameter on your house. This
Yeah.
is more for when you're walking.
Okay.
So you would switch the collar.
That's my question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank
Perfect. Thank you.
The question that I have is that have you looked into any potential liabilities with this product? What
I
I'm
guess we definitely haven't looked into potential liabilities from a personal happening standpoint. We've definitely looked into town codes and state codes that have kind of showed us that it's definitely a plausible idea in terms of leash. A lot of state codes, there's only 2 state codes that say that you need a physical leash, but a lot of state codes say that you just need a leash or control over your dog. So this would provide control. And I think with a lot of tech that's coming out, I mean, we see drones flying in the air, we see driverless cars. As the market grows and as people see that there's a need for it and people start buying it, I think that would work itself out in a way.
yeah, and I'm coming from a point of view that if you had actually physical leash, and if the dog was to bite a neighbor or somebody, you can pull it, versus your product may be quite a bit difficult to control the dog if it's out of control.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think one thing to note is that currently you can use a shock collar, which you have a remote for. So if the dog gets too far away, you can shock it and it comes back to you, and that's legal. So I guess this would just be putting a parameter so it's not up to your discretion to shock it. It's just the discretion of the radius. So yeah, I think there's definitely the question of if you can pull your dog away, but there's also a product out there in which you have to shock your dog to get it back to come.
And there would also be a manual setting where you could shock it yourself. So if it goes outside, if it goes too, because once it breaches the parameter, it just shocks it once and then it'll whistle for the dog to come back. But then you have a manual shock on that you could press it once it goes too far away again to bring it back.
And I think just like if you have an invisible fence, just like with the invisible fence, there's a lot of training that goes on to be able to have your dog use that invisible fence so it knows that once the whistle sounds, it should come back in, and it knows when it crosses the plane, it'll shock it. So it'd be the same thing with this, and that's something else we're definitely gonna have to do is develop some sort of training guidelines and work with dog training professionals to come up with that plan to package with the product.
Yeah, I had also a liability issue that I was thinking about, but I would imagine when you get further into your concept and you bring it to fruition that you'll have insurances and you'll be speaking with people that are expert in that field to help you cover yourself in many different ways. I also had a question as far as I noticed you're using a Bluetooth mechanism that's readily available. What kind of a moat do you have around your business to protect your concept from being taken and by someone else and being utilized by someone else?
Yeah, and that's a good question also. Another step we definitely need to look into is talking to a patent attorney, talking to someone who's a professional in that field, to take this business concept, this product concept, and try to put it into a real-life prototype and a real-life product that we can protect. I'm not an expert on if this design, if it's process design, if you can get a design patent. I'm not sure, but we definitely need to look into if that's protectable.
And just one other question. As far as the training goes, have you done any training whatsoever? Have you, to test the feasibility and to maybe project how hard it would be, how easy it would be to train the animal, and the responsiveness and the quality, the ease for the layman to be able to conduct that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually have a manual shock collar, and that's how I kind of came up with the idea. And if you start as a puppy, it responds very well, and over time, they adapt to it. And that's why if you teach it, if you have the app for when it's a puppy, and you set the radius, it'll know exactly how far away it can go from you. The only problem with the manual one now is like, I could shock it if it's 100 yards away, or I could shock it if it's 10 yards away. It's up to my discretion. So it doesn't know exactly how far it's supposed to stay away from you. It's just all up to the owner's discretion.
And yeah, I think it goes back to the invisible fence. I think the logic of the dog kind of says that if it's trained to understand it needs to stay within a certain perimeter of you, I think that makes more sense to it than it knows if it gets too far away, it'll be shocked. I think that could work out, but again, we need to consult with a training professional.
Quick question around failback. You're walking on a trail, your battery's starting to run out of your phone. Is there any thought as far as like, fail back to some sort of manual, battery operated or something like that?
We've thought actually a lot about that because that is a thing that we've kind of run into when working out the idea. You'll get a notification on your phone that it's running out. If your phone breaks or just happens to die automatically, the collar will start sounding a whistle, and so the dog will know to come back to you. It'll sound a whistle. And we're actually thinking about putting a retractable leash on the edge of the collar in order to manually walk the dog if it got away or if your phone, the connectivity went out.
I get, so you mentioned about the retail cost of $150. Can you tell us how you arrived with that number? What kind of marketing feasibility study have you done to justify that price? Are the consumer willing to pay $150 for something like this?
Yeah, and we did some research in looking at invisible fences, which can retail up to $400. High-end dog collars, which can retail over $100. And then collars that have GPS and shock collars that don't have the Bluetooth functionality. And we found those shock collars can range between $70 and $200. And GPS collars can range between like $60 and $150. So we think at a $150 price point, we'll be able to make the product at a certain cost where we can still have great margins, but still feasible for the consumer to purchase.
Thank you.
We're going to let the judges have a couple minutes to document their thoughts, and then we're going to start in 2 minutes with the next presentation for BodyCool. Can the BodyCool team come up here, please?
Who's pitching? Just you? Just you. So do you want the lapel mic?
Is anyone else going to be?
As long as they can hear us.
Okay, sounds good. Is it attached to? Okay. So let's see.
Sound guy.
Turn it on when he starts talking. I think they control it from up there.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Just
Do
put
they?
this in your pocket,
All right, it's going in.
and I got to show you how to do the hanky.
Oh,
It's not, that's
you
not
messing
how
up my collar
That's not
tie?
how you do the hanky. I'm going to show you how to do the hanky.
Thank you.
There's a process of it.
Is this the way to go, like the right direction? That's the way to go backwards?
Yes.
Perfect. Nice. Alrighty.
Then we're going to give, if it turns out, don't have it in the way, if it turns out that doesn't work,
Yes, that's going to be my
we'll
backup.
pick it up and say that.
All right.
And the three of them, I already talked to them, they're going to do expressive dance behind it.
Just to please the audience
Yes,
and everything.
just to please the audience.
How do we activate one of these?
Should just be a press.
Yes, you can.
Which, how do I activate such a
We're
thing?
already activated.
Oh,
All you gotta
okay.
do is speak.
Cool. Quello?
The next presentation, excuse me, the next presentation is the group of BodyCool. It is designed for 2.5 million people suffering from multiple sclerosis, a clothing product with a cooling ability to discreetly control the symptoms of this ailment during warm weather. The floor is yours.
Alrighty. Good morning. My name is John Robinson, and I'm actually here today because of a man named Rick Leroy. Let me introduce all of you to Rick. Now, Rick has done a number of incredible things in his life. He has run several races, many of which over 25 miles. However, now Rick struggles to walk even from his home to his car due to a disease with no known cause or cure, multiple sclerosis. Now, I can barely comprehend the emotional struggle that Rick goes through as a result of this disease. And there are over 400,000 Americans just like Rick. Now, the key takeaway I took from meeting with Rick was actually one of the first things he said to me, and that is because of MS, he is now his enemy. Rick isn't alone. In fact, it has been proven that he has been shown to temporarily yet aggressively worsen the symptoms of MS. This is where we wish to help. At BodyCool, we are designing cooling apparel made specifically to protect those with MS from their symptoms, especially from heat. We do this through cooling apparel, and we do this as discreetly as possible. Now, allow me to explain. Here's some of our competitors. As you can see, they focus on heavy vests, which must be worn outside of the clothing. Now, we have spoken with a small yet growing group of MS patients, and they have found these to be often bulky, noticeable, and overall very inflexible. So, at BodyCool, we're creating our apparel. So, we have these two conceptual models here, which are designed specifically not only to be very flexible and to combat the cooling abilities, but also to be very discreet. Now, actually, I'm wearing one right here. Now, if you had to choose, would you wear this very concealable thing, or would you wear the heavy vest that I showed earlier? And people with MS are no different. So, here's a simple competitive matrix. Here is where our competitors are, with varying amounts of discretion and a variety of prices. And here is where we strive to be, with a very medium range price and a focus in discretion. Now, as far as getting this to our customers, we have a variety of options. We plan to sell online, much like our competitors. However, we also want to increase customer awareness. That's why we'll be focusing on agencies. We actually met with the president of the MS Society just this past Friday, and he has agreed, or actually, we're currently in talks with potentially going to an exclusive trade show with their support. Now, as far as market opportunity, there are 400,000 Americans currently living with MS, with 200 being diagnosed weekly. That's one American being diagnosed every hour. Now, additionally, we can expand into future markets, such as athletic, military, and consumer application. However, this product shouldn't go into these markets until we get it to those who need it most. As far as our team, we are 7 dedicated individuals who want to see this product succeed. We have our industrial design team who works to make this product as discreet as possible. We have our engineering team to make sure it performs properly. And then you have me, I do our fundraising, customer research, and other organizational tasks using my 2 years of prior experience in a previous startup. As far as our early supporters, we have the Al Siegel Foundation, who actually came to us with this problem, and we're helping them trying to see it become a success. We have the MS Society, as I said earlier, and one company not mentioned, Nexotherm. Now, these people could potentially make our phase change material, thank you, which would basically ensure the cooling ability of our products. As far as your support, first place would mean so much to us because it would mean that we could get our prototype out in December of 2015. Also, it could be done in a way that would give us the best test results to make sure we're making the best product for our customers. Thank you for your time, and I hope we can work together to make something really special for those currently suffering with MS. Alrighty. Thank you. So, as promised, we do have the phase change material, which we can hand out to you in case you're curious what it is.
So there's nothing mechanical that helps the cooling. It's just in this that I'm feeling here, right?
Correct. In fact, Mallory, you specialize in the phase change material itself. Would you like to talk more?
Can everyone hear me? Yeah, the phase change material is actually similar to an ice pack in the fact that it thaws and changes to liquid. But the cool thing about the phase change material is that we can control the freezing and melting points. So that actually controls when it changes from a solid phase to a liquid and back. And that's what causes the cooling effect. So the phase change material we're looking at using for this product would freeze, become a solid at about room temperature. And in that case, you can put it on the body, and then the body's hotter than room temperature, so energy will be transferred in the form of heat from the body to the phase change material, in effect cooling the body.
What, as far as the size, what is the largest unit that you would produce?
As far as the size of the garment, that is something we're currently looking into right now. The key to it, though, is that it's very flexible, so it can accommodate various sizes, especially when it's going around the waist, of course.
And the reason I asked is because how do you cool it down? If it's large, the average person isn't going to be able to put it in a refrigerator or freezer. So what's the technique for that?
One of the nice things about this phase change material, and one thing we're kind of striving for, is to make it so that you wouldn't have to put it in the refrigerator. Having a melting temperature around room temperature would allow you to take it off and not have to put it anywhere in particular. If usually the MS patients are kind of just in their house at 70 degrees in the air conditioning, so they could just take it off, set it down right next to them. They're already having problems with mobility, so the less time they have to run over to go to their kitchen or pull this out of their freezer, the better it is for them. And in terms of the size, they're all heat sealed into this plastic. So we can kind of we're working right now in the industrial design part kind of with different shapes that'll increase flexibility, that'll give you different advantages depending on the area of the body that it's attached to.
And so just to be clear, all you have to do is keep this in your air-conditioned room and that's it.
Yep.
That's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Two-part regulatory question on the FDA-approved part. One, do your competitors, are they all FDA-approved? And two, what are the approximate costs of FDA approval, and how does that fit in your financial model?
Right now, FDA approval is something we're very much looking into. We know we can't avoid it, and we actually are looking into striving to succeed in that. I actually have a family friend who specializes in FDA approval. I'm still learning a lot about that process, but I hope by meeting with him I can learn a lot more.
Are your competitors FDA approved?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so it's a mandatory to be able to go and hang
Most
your hat
likely.
on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though this, it's not, you don't have to consume it, you need to get an FDA approved for this?
Yes.
Is it because just to use for MS, or if someone just feels normally hot, they don't have MS, and they utilize this product, do they have, does that have to be FDA approved for that as well? Or is it just because you're targeting this disease, MS, that's why you need to have FDA approved?
Perfect.
Yeah, actually, because we're targeting MS, it will be categorized by the FDA as a medical device, and because of that, that's why we'll need the FDA approval.
Okay.
Hence, insurance will cover it probably and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So, how did Al Siegel? You mentioned during your talk that Al Siegel Center came to you guys.
Yes.
So, how have you been like formulating this in the
I can
background? They
handle
heard
that.
about you. That's just interesting that Al Siegel would
Yeah.
come to.
We've been working with them a little bit through the summer, and they actually came to us with a couple issues a variety of issues regarding MS that they had seen, and this was just one of them that we kind of wanted to run with. We found that it had a lot of applications both for MS and outside of it, and just were like, this would be a great kind of.
So you had been speaking with them though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, associating with people like that. Awesome. What I did read that you, for a secondary market, you would be pursuing non-medical. Do you have a time frame when that might happen?
At the moment, no, just because we want to focus very heavily on the medical market. It could take a few years, especially. Right now, it's really just all about focusing on the medical. We definitely want to succeed in that area.
Now, how long can a person wear this? And will you have any type of indicator that, okay, it's no longer effective, meaning that it's not cooling and now I gotta let it absorb all the energy and now I gotta take it off and let it cool down again? Do you have any indicator on the product itself, or?
Yeah, we've actually set a customer requirement to cool for approximately 2 hours, so we're aiming to meet that and hopefully exceed that at some point. And the indicator really to the customer will just be they won't feel the cooling effect anymore. So if you have that phase change material on you, you'll be able to feel the cooling effect, and once it stops working, you won't be able to feel that anymore.
Additionally, we actually have a feature that can kick in because of that cooling loss. Actually, Brad, would you like to speak on that?
Yeah, one of the kind of, after talking to Rick Leroy from one of the earlier slides, an instance that happened with him just walking from his house to his car, he overheated so much that he lost control and feeling in his legs, and had to have EMTs come and get him and bring him into his house. They were meanwhile, of course, concerned and doing all these tests on him, and he told them, hey, listen guys, it's fine, you guys can go about your business. I'm inside the air conditioning now, I'll be fine in 20 minutes. That's how quickly this happens and how quickly you can recover from it. So one of the added features we kind of wanted to bring into this was kind of like the crushed ice packs, and this would be used for emergency purposes. So let's say that you went over the 2-hour time limit, or it wasn't providing enough cooling, you could press one of these cool ice packs to kind of hopefully give you a jolt and get you that 10 extra minutes into your house. And that would be an added benefit, mostly for the MS patients, kind of a security blanket, if you will.
Then just quickly, as far as your competitors, which are more expensive and bulky, and they look like you're wearing an armored suit, how long do they last compared to yours?
They're actually within the same time range. They vary based on what kind of materials they're using, but that's where we got our customer requirement of 2 hours. So basically the same time range.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, they turned it on for you?
Yes, they did. So
Okay, excellent. Why? It wasn't me. I gave them for you guys out there.
Yeah, I don't know. We're telling
Hi, Shorak. Do you want to pass this back and forth, or do you want to wear this on your job?
Is it only you talking? Okay, who's using the hand towel?
off, or you can all have it. Okay? Okay, we're going to give these folks 1 more minute, and then I'll let you do it. Now, how it works is that when you talk to the rest of you, the other two will be expressing their interpretations of what you're saying. I'm just making you laugh. Saying anything.
Hey, we're ready.
Okay?
The next presentation is the ShowRack team, which makes an intuitive interface that allows users to purchase specialty clothing from merchandise seen in their favorite shows and movies. The floor is yours.
Thank you.
Wow, I seriously can't stop watching Breaking Bad on Netflix. It's so good. But you know what bothers me? I love Jesse Pinkman's sweatshirt, but I can't seem to find it anywhere. I mean, I'll look on Google, and I can't seem to find it, and all I want to do is buy that sweatshirt. Wait, what's this? Wow, neat. And there's the sweatshirt. Sold. I'm getting it. Come in.
We have a delivery.
Is this what I think it is?
It is.
Yes, it's my Jesse Pinkman sweatshirt. Oh, yes, finally.
So this is Life Made Easy. ShowRack is a new interface where we connect customers to the things that they love from their favorite TV shows and movies. Now, you might sit there asking yourself, why isn't this something that already exists? But there actually is something that exists. There's Shazam. Shazam is a mobile app that listens to music, it identifies the song, and then it'll connect you to the point of purchase. So ShowRack wants to take this business model and spin it in our own way to use it in the entertainment and clothing industry. So looking at the industry right now, we have our traditional stores that you'll go to the mall to see. We also have online shopping. But between all of these, there's always a disconnect where you can't seem to find the exact item that you're looking for. And it might be because of size, or the fit isn't right, or even color. But ShowRack, we solve this problem. We have exactly what you love from your shows, and we give it to you right at that impulse moment where you see it and you love it and you really want it. So can I get a raise of hands? How many people here have a favorite TV show? And how many people here like to watch that TV show on a streaming service? That's really awesome, because my favorite TV show is Entourage on HBO, so we're not the only ones. In this market, there's over 40 million people who just subscribe to Netflix. And our target market are millennials, who are also online shoppers and also binge watchers. So our team comes from a very diverse background. We have people in business, also from the entertainment industry and technology. And we're extremely passionate about creating something that brings people together and connects them to their favorite items. So going back to the industry that we have at the moment, there's really no connection between the current retail stores and the video streaming industry. But ShowRack wants to connect these two. So we're going to work with the video streaming industry and work a deal with around 5 to 10% commission on every single sale. And in return, this is going to let the retail industry reach a completely new market that they haven't been able to touch before. And it's also going to get rid of their customer acquisition costs. So looking at our financials, we're taking that initial market of 40 million Netflix viewers, and we're accounting that we'll penetrate 0.5% of this market in our first year. Now that's only 200,000 people. But if they each spend $50 and we take a 10% commission off every sale, we make $1 million in our first year. And it's only going to grow from there. So going forward, we want to work with an IP lawyer to secure a provisional patent on our software technology. And we also want to bring on 2 more programmers to help us build out our interface. Come join us on this exciting adventure. Thank you.
I'm just interested on the technical side of it. How are you scanning and grabbing this information? And then the second piece of it is, how are you tying it to a specific retailer, e-tailer?
Right. So,
I mean, obviously not nitty-gritty, but just,
okay.
I'm just not grasping the concept.
Our initial goal is to connect with video stream industry players like people in the movie industry and the show industry. So we want to connect with the people that are managing the costume designs and the clothing that's going into these shows. And we're going to be in connection with them to get lists of all the clothing that they're using in these shows, and then we'll be able to integrate it into the
And
interface.
that's kind of why we brought up that some of us have entertainment connections into the industry, just because it's important to have connections in that industry and to understand fully who does wardrobe and what goes into each show. So that's how we would find out where each article of clothing is from.
And you feel you have enough scale to go and do this with all of Netflix?
Not right now, but we would get there.
We would be starting out with we would be beginning with the most popular shows and kind of branching out from there. We wouldn't be doing everything at once.
Okay.
It would be gradual.
So the 40 million is based on just those shows that you would be?
So the 40 million
or is that all?
Statistic, that is the number of Netflix viewers only in the US. So this doesn't account for
the shows that you're going to target?
It's just Netflix
All.
overall in
Okay.
general. Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you.
The two-part question. I'm still not quite understanding the technology side of it. How would you know that this is the T-shirt or something? How does your app know? And then second part is that what challenges do you foresee with the TV shows and to get them on board with your thinking?
I'll answer the first part. So the first part, so basically what we're going to do is, I'm sorry, actually, could you repeat the first part of the question? Because now I'm thinking about the challenges. Okay, I'll answer the challenges, I guess. The challenges would be trying to build the connections and trying to make sure that everyone fully understands how easy the concept really is and how much easier you can get that sweatshirt that you've been dying to get.
Also, we realized that we might find some struggle in connecting with these larger streaming services in the beginning. So we had the idea that we would actually start with an open source like YouTube. And then we would target some very large subscriber-based channels where we would work with that channel with our interface to drive their marketing and promotion of merchandise as well.
Do you guys mind if I ask a question to that? Because the one thing that's ringing in my mind is that most, like a Breaking Bad, they're going to have a product placement team that you could actually, it would be, in my opinion, easier to go after them because they list out every single piece and article, whereas a YouTube is very freelance, very open source, and there's no reining around it. So that, I was waiting for you guys to go down that angle, that you guys have thought about working with product placement teams, choosing 20 shows, and you don't have to, they already have that data. You just have to grab, it becomes a big data play almost.
Mm-hmm.
That was an original thought in our mind, but then we thought more, how can we be more relatable with the people? Because our purpose here is to serve the viewers. We want Netflix viewers to really get what they want. And yeah, product placement is important, and we would love to work with people who do that as well. But is that really truly helping out what people want? Do they really want that Pepsi, or do they want that sweatshirt? So that's kind of the route we were going for.
Well, the product placement people have the sweatshirt. They have a list of the cufflink that Mark Cuban's wearing. They have a list of all that kind of stuff.
We didn't want to be so narrow with it. We wanted to focus on the fashion for this presentation, but we do want to open our minds more and do products as well. And, you know, oh, I like that couch, IKEA, you know?
It sounds like a terrific idea. I like it. I do see, though, that there's a lot of complex parts involved. The affiliations, the licensing, the technology. What kind of a grip do you actually have on the technology and being able to roll this out? And what's your time frame for a rollout once you get everything in place?
We haven't actually created a in-depth time frame for everything at this moment. But we are working with our team programmer and also looking to bring on 2 more people to help us create our full functioning prototype very soon. And we'll keep moving from there.
So as far as the prototype, you do have, you have an idea of when you're going to be able to complete the prototype? And
Yes.
it's feasible, you've already obviously gone through that with your programmers, right?
Do you want to show him what we did again? Because it was kind of fast when we did our little reenactment.
Yeah, we did go through it pretty quick. Here we go.
Okay. So there's a little t-shirt icon on the far right, and what you would do is just go over and click that t-shirt icon, and then up would come pictures of, for example, Jesse Pinkman, standing in front of his car or smoking a cigarette, sitting inside Pollos Hermanos, and it's him wearing that sweatshirt in that scene. So that right there tells you, oh, that's the sweatshirt that I was looking for, and that's the scene I noticed it in. And that's when you see the price and see the retailer, and that's how you purchase your item.
So there's a lot of setup, but it's all controlled, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
and this isn't something that's going to be like an advertising thing on the system. This will be an opt-in interface. So it'll be you hitting the pause button, or in the intermission session between episodes, you'll be able to access this interface and go through and see all the items that each character wore throughout the show and be able to pick your favorite items.
Where do you, when you said that you would get like 5% of the population when you first start out, where would you advertise this app? I mean, how would you get to your market?
So what we were thinking is that we would work with the video streaming services to kind of set up like an update so the viewers will be aware that this interface is there, and it will also use the t-shirt icon, so people will kind of be like, what is that? So it'll kind of draw attention through those.
We wanted it to be kind of subtle because we don't want to be annoying, flashy in your face. We don't want to be an advertisement. Kind of like when you're watching YouTube and then an advertisement pops up. We did not want to be a pop-up thing. We wanted to be able to choose, you can opt in, opt out, and it becomes an interactive service if you do it regularly. And we wanted people to just kind of discover it and come upon it. So they notice the t-shirt icon. Or at the end of the episode, they notice you have 10 seconds till your next episode. And then before it starts, you kind of see a few shirts from that last episode. And you're like, well, what's this? And then you click it, and that's how you discover what Show Rack is. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
So, gentlemen, are any of you already speaking? If you'd like, would you rather hold this?
So if you guys do questions, if you chime in.
All right, and then we'll. Are you guys going to speak at all, or are you just typing the first place? Okay, so just, we have an extra one here, if you guys want to pick it up, or you can just hand it back and forth. This is just what we're doing, so if you go too far, just leave it. Ready? Okay. Our next team is Univent, a mobile and desktop solution for universities and local businesses to track events from a centralized single source. Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Rich. Good morning. My name is Donald Bradley, and today I'll be presenting the university's #1 event tool, Univent. So on our management team, we have our coach, Jeff. We have myself, which is the CEO. We have Vladimir Perez, who is the COO. And then we have our technical side lead, Sam Babaloa. So Univent. This is, in our mind, our goal and our vision here is to be able to organize events into one simple, easy-to-use interface for the user. We have a reward system that go ahead and it incentivizes students to go ahead and use the application and to go ahead and attend events. And we provide local businesses with ad space so they can actually promote their business. So right here is a very scenic view of Global Village. And as you can see, there's many students here. And with that, there's many events that can occur. There's up to 45 events that occur on a daily basis on RIT's campus. That's a whole lot of events. So as you can see from the quick list I'm going to display right here, we have sporting events from hockey, lacrosse, soccer, to cab events, concerts, etc. In short, there's a ton of events. So the problem, walking on the quarter mile, there's posters that are not viewed by the students. Detailed information may be lost. Facebook notifications may be missed. Message Center, our favorite. Message Center, you get a amount of blast from Message Center with a whole bunch of events, a whole bunch of information. But by now, we've learned, Message Center isn't the way to go. A lot of rules are set up on Message Center, so we don't even see those notifications or any events that are actually occurring. And last, the link. The link is like it's a system right now that's in place where all events are hosted because they have to be EVR'd or event registered through this system right now as it is. So this is the problem. There's no centralized system for events. So our market, our total addressable market is going to be 21 million students across the United States and about 4,200 2- and second-year institutions. Our sizable addressable market is going to be 3.5% of that number, and that's about 735,000 students. Or in other words, that would equate to 146 2- and 4-year institutions. So very quickly, going through our competitive analysis, top we have ourselves, Univent, comparing to Involvio, Campus Quad, Facebook, and we have the college-owned app at the bottom. So across the top, we just kind of listed some of our features. We have the social aspect of it, recommendation of events based on the student's interest, a decentralized platform for events, our reward system, which is our key differentiator, feedbacks to be given once events are terminated, and the ability to provide analytics for colleges, for organizations on the campus. So let's take a deep dive into our beautiful interface here. This page, you're able to log in with your student credentials, so your RIT username and password, you can log in. Once you go ahead and log in, this takes you to our trending page, which shows all the events that are occurring on the campus. And with our specialized algorithm, we are able to pull from all sources, no matter the source. After the trending page, this takes you to the event details page. With the event details page, you're able to see, the time, the type of event that's occurring, the date, location, and your friends that actually are occurring, or your friends are actually attending the event, excuse me, and a master list of attendees that are actually attending the event. And lastly, you're able to see if this event is paid or if it's a free event. So now this brings me to our key differentiator and our competitive advantage here. This is our reward system. Our reward system allows the user to be rewarded for actually attending events. So for instance, we have Joe. Joe, for instance, wanted to go to a hockey game, show his school spirit, and he was able to get points. With being able to, receive points, we were able to track participation of the student and provide that information back, to the organization on the campus. We reward points, like I said, to the student, and with those points, they're able to cash in those points for tangible goods or items, for instance. And very quickly, we can, by trading in those points, you're able to, pick from a rewards list, basically, that's in our application. So for instance, you always want to have dinner with Dessler, so you're able to do that now. Right near it shows you the date that event's occurring, where the location of that event is, and how many seats are available. So you better hurry up and cash in those points. So a bit of our revenue model right here. For all students, it's going to be free for them. For colleges, it's going to be 25 cents per student per month. And lastly, for businesses, it's going to be 10 cents for per view and 40 cents per click. So very quickly, just some schools that we hope to branch out to in the near future. And one quick quote, this came from Sandra Johnson. This tool has the ability to give student affairs the visibility on event planning that they need. Thank you.
You've obviously have done the math, so what's the 25 cents per student? The individuals who use it, right? Like if it was for RIT, it would be based on the 25 cents.
So if I'm understanding the question correctly, our price
How would
model-
how would RIT be billed for this? It was 25 cents per student, but it's based on as a student uses it?
That's correct.
How much would that be?
So basically, the price, breaking it down the price point, it'd be about $3 per student per year, and that's for students that are using the application, that's students that are attending the university. So for instance, RIT has 17,000 students, they would be charged that price point.
Yeah, so that would that be $10,000 a year
That
additional
would be
for each
approximately
college?
$40,000 a year.
$40,000 a year?
$40,000 a year, correct, for
Okay.
one university.
Okay, thank you.
That price point was gauged over time once we, were able to discuss with RIT, because we actually started the implementation of this at RIT. Not implementation, but we started the prototype stage of this at RIT. They are, hopefully our first customer. So we're able to talk to different organizations on campus, kind of gauge our price point. We're still trying to build our business case right now as we're talking to various execs on campus right now as it is to understand how they kind of build their business case to something like this.
Quick question. How many schools do you think you'd be able to, let's say you're off and running, you're already geared up and everything's working. How many schools do you think you can work with in the first year, second year, third year?
That's a good question. That's solely dependent on the systems that we're able to integrate on the campus. Some schools do not have an event management system, and some do. So, for instance, RIT uses the link, like I stated earlier, which is kind of a place where events have to be registered. So they're official RIT events. So to answer your question, I can't give you a direct, projection of how many schools we'll reach per year, because that's solely dependent on the existing platforms that are there and how we're able to integrate with them.
So there's a couple of ways to get revenue for this. One is obviously the university. Other is vendors, right?
Correct.
Different vendors. What kind of responses have you gotten from vendors here?
So we have actually gone to Park Point, which is right here, obviously in Park Point, Loving Cup, and Very Berry. So those are three customers that we've talked to with our prototype, understanding how much they would pay for something like this, given the value. So that has helped us to understand kind of our price point and what they would be willing to pay for it. So I'm not sure if that answers your question.
Okay. So you have talked to 3 vendors so far, right?
Correct, just 3 so far.
And how do they gauge that it's effective for them?
They gauge if it's effective for them based on the data that we're able to provide back to them. So basically, it depends on how many clicks the business is getting based on their ad, and we're able to provide that data back to the customer to see how many people actually were viewing your ad, how many people clicked on your ad, and provide that to understand if it's actually something that's working for them.
And is there a way of determining that how many of those clicks gets translated into revenue for the vendors?
Yes, we have a system. So right here, if you see the ad in the middle, let's say Very Berry, which is an ice cream place right next to RIT, is having an event. Students are going to be able to click on the ad and use the barcode that will appear and redeem that barcode at the ice cream place to get a discount.
So for instance, there's a tally that's being counted in the background as well as through coupons that would be provided for the business.
So the point system is your value prop, right?
Correct. It's an competitive advantage as well.
And I'm assuming you're funding that out of yourselves, I'm assuming there's going to be dollars going out for these costs, or are they going to be all soft costs like dinner with the president? Have you formulated that plan?
So with the reward system, it's something that we've actually have begun in talks with hockey, for instance. Like I stated earlier, it's something that's in the works. So I guess you're asking kind of where the budget would come for our reward system. Our reward system would actually depend on the organization that we work with. So it would come out of their marketing budget, for instance, for hockey. We would use some of their marketing budget to be able to fund the reward system.
So my question, the reason I'm asking the question is I noticed that nobody else has a reward system out there from your competitors, and then my first thought would be just from a cost perspective, you're maybe going to be a premium because somehow or other you're going to have to hold money back somewhere along the way in your billing to be able to go and pay for this. It's not going to be obviously free. So I'm just trying to get a concept of like where you guys sit versus the competition from a price point. Are those clicks higher, lower than your competitors? And how much of that percentage is going towards rewards? And have you thought about what the reward system is?
Can you just repeat the question one more time? So are you
Sure.
asking where do we
So
stand
where's the
in-
price point? Are you versus the competitors? And then secondly, how are you? I'm still not understanding how you're. Have you guys thought about like what those rewards are going to be? Are they dinner with the president and the hockey team, or going to a hockey game, or is it actually like tote bags or?
So, for instance, like for hockey, we can give that example. In their marketing budget, they may have they may buy hats, for instance, or hockey puffs, or various hockey gear that they may be giving out already. They may be giving out to students already, so we can gauge that and use
Okay.
that as a reward system. And for instance, down the road, we want to be able to have students that may not be able to afford a ticket, for instance, for a hockey game, to be able to use these points to pay for a ticket.
Gotcha.
Standing next to our competitors, they have the similar price model when it comes to revenue. But we sit a little bit below them when it comes to charging colleges per student per year.
Okay, thanks.
I'll go for it. Essentially, how are you going to market this? And because you're going to have to reach out to advertisers, and also, there's several components. Have you given that much thought? I know you're early on right now, but I'm just curious.
Yes, we have. So our marketing plan would be to have a student ambassador at schools to be able to help us market the application itself, as well as being able to go to schools to give them a presentation of basically our value, how we can benefit each other in this process. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job. Which one of you would you like the option of having this?
To help out.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Are you guys ready?
Yep. Audio's working. Yeah, this mic's working.
Okay. All right. So
I need this.
the final presentation, attention everyone, the
gonna
final
ask for a quick sound
presentation
check.
is Flickshare, a feature with a one-click interface that allows users from any location to simultaneously watch the same media, whether it is a video clip, movie, or live stream event. The floor is yours.
Hey everybody. So what we're going to be talking about right now is a quick sneak peek of what Flickshare is. My name is Mohammed Daragma. I'm the, I guess you can say, founder of this idea. We have Karthik, who's also the product manager. And I am a computer engineering student, 4th year, and Karthik himself is a 5th year computer science. We also have Anna Cherian, who's a graduate in new media design. And we're going to start. Karthik, you have a question to ask?
Yeah, so how many of you watch Netflix? Great. So how many of you watch YouTube? Well, that's great. We love getting our friends together and watching movies on the couch. That's the best way for us to do it. We don't really like doing other things like Skyping and stuff like that. So Flickshare is something that lets you take that couch experience onto the web.
You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that? Can you do that? Good.
Sorry about that. Okay.
All right, sorry about that. Anyways, so let me give you a scenario. You and a friend are on a co-op. One's on the West Coast, one's on the East Coast. How are you going to watch a show together? A normal scenario is you both get on Skype, you chat with each other, and you count down. So let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, and you both press play.
You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that? Can you do that? Good. You see that red blur? You see that red blur? That's me. That's me.
And as you can see and hear, there's a little problem with that. And you might ask why. What's wrong with a little lag? So how many of you are familiar with Game of Thrones? All right, great. So imagine you and your friend are watching it, and someone dies as usual. Your friend is going to scream before you even see it happen on screen, even if you're a few seconds late. So that's why we think this lag is a significant problem, and we're here to solve it with Flickshare. So this is what it would look like when you're using Flickshare. One user can start watching a show, another one can join, and then any number of users can join even after that. So here's a quick
You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that? Good. You see that red blur? That's me.
So as you can see, everyone's in sync. You can all watch and you can join in whenever you want to. So phase 1 of Flickshare is a browser extension. It's free and it's going to be available in Chrome, Safari, and Firefox. This makes it cross-platform so that anyone on any computer can join in on the fun. Also, Flickshare will first work with Netflix and YouTube, and then we'll move on to other major players like HBO Go and Amazon. So, streaming media, the market for streaming media is becoming bigger and bigger with every day that passes. According to the US Census, there are 83 million millennials, which is our target market. And according to the NATPE, 51% of them use Netflix. So, that gives us a whopping 42 million potential users to use Flickshare, and that's Netflix alone. You can only imagine once we add HBO Go, Hulu, and Amazon Instant Video. Also, we can't tell you exactly how many people will want to watch shows together, but even if the smallest portion of this 42 million users get on, Flickshare can be very successful.
Okay, so now we're going to be talking about how we're going to market it and how we're going to produce revenue. So a lot of widgets, applications, apps, even browser extensions, they're usually by word of mouth, a friend will share it, or anything like that. So what we're trying to do is not only spread it with the word of mouth or hopefully get on a tech blog or anything like that. What we're trying to do is much more aggressive. So what we're hoping for, on top of all that, is a Facebook ad campaign. We're hoping to spend $500 in 2 months, and with predicted reach from Facebook, we're hoping to hit 100 million people. And from that number, we're hoping to get a fraction of that to become users. And that's where that next part is. We're going to be creating targeted ads. Those targeted ads are not like your typical ads, and I'll show you why. So this is our interface. So we see over there, it says The Flash in that corner. So what we're going to do, we're going to be using a technology, a library that's public, to scrape that information. It'll detect the word The Flash, the season, everything, and it'll find content related to you. So you don't want to watch, let's say, another show like Barbie or anything, because that has nothing related to. But what we're going to do is have targeted ads that talk to you about your show. So The Flash, it's related to The Arrow. They're both superheroes, they're everything. We're done. Thank you. Yep.
Have you started the programming of this already?
Yes. So right now we have alpha that's between us right now, and we're able to control right now Facebook, Netflix and YouTube. So what we're hoping to is to continue to branch out and develop a partnership with them, which is what phase 2 would be to develop a partnership with these media providers. So eventually we would continue to roll out more and more features, more and more APIs that will allow more media providers to come in.
How exactly are you going to monetize this?
Yes, that's a great question. So right now, what makes us different from, let's say, if Netflix decided to do this feature, because of course they have the money, they have the users, everything, but what allows us to do it is Netflix, Hulu, HBO Go, all these companies, they have their own special content, their own special licenses and everything, and they won't really work together to share content or anything. But where we come in, we'll be able to give everybody a one site, one resource that they can access for free, and they can watch anything. So let's say me and Karthik want to watch Game of Thrones. It's only on HBO, and that's how it's going to stay. So me and him can go to Flickshare, watch it together, and then let's say we want to go on Netflix and watch The Flash or something like that. We can also use the same site, Flickshare. So our users will be able to access any of these other media providers without being stuck into, let's say Netflix releases a feature. They wouldn't be just confined in Netflix.
But I'm still not exactly clear. How do you get paid?
I'm sorry, can you?
How do you get paid?
How do we get paid? That's the targeted ads. So we're going to be working with Google AdSense to create those targeted ads, as you saw previously. Let me bring that up real quick. Yeah. So past that. You see that arrow? So what we're doing is having our chat widgets include an embedded ad. So it won't interfere with the user. So it won't be like an ad flash or anything. It'll be within the comments. And that's how we generate money. So let's say you're done watching The Arrow or you're done watching your favorite show and you're looking for that next great thing. These targeted ads will help you bring you that. So every click, every view, we would generate a certain amount of money from that.
Gotcha, thank you.
Do you have any other potential use for this? I mean, I never care to watch a TV show with someone from San Francisco or anything like that. So, I mean, have you thought about any other potential use for this?
Yeah.
So actually, unfortunately, we didn't get to that last slide with competitors. So we do have a competitor called Rabbit. And what they do is they let multiple users talk, and they give them all a shared browser window so you could do whatever you want. You could read the news, you could do whatever you want with these other users. The problem there is that when you have a virtual browser window, there's a lot of drop in quality, and it's just not a bad experience. So as any small company, we want to focus on one thing and one thing only. So we're focusing on Netflix, HBO, Amazon Instant Video, and pretty much a way to connect and watch with someone else in another place. So we may branch out later, but at first we definitely want to focus on one thing and doing that one thing well.
Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Folks, just a little bit of information. Our judges are going to be working on this, and the And the winners, and they're all here, and they're all winners, and they're all ranked very highly out of 71, are going to be announced at the end of our keynote address by Robert Latore, which should be, is it 1:30, Rupa? At 1:30. Thank you very much. We hope you can show up to the keynote address.